All right, guys. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, boys and girls. Let's go with the class. Today we're having the configuring networking interfaces on AMA Linux. So let's go ahead and run the first command, which is ls. I'm going to copy and paste it in the terminal. And basically there's a text there with information of the network scripts. We're going to do the following. We're going to close this guide, go to the internet guide that we have, is the same one. And we're going to edit some information with the sudo nano command. So let's go ahead and do that right now. I have to add the password, but I don't see any information. Interesting. Let me go there to the guide to see. Okay, so apparently we have to modify some information, but I don't really see it. So let me just check on something. Let me just check on something. Let me see if I do a cd and I can access that directory. There is only one. Okay, so that one doesn't really exist. So we're not really doing it by per se. We're going to create a document because I don't really see it there. I don't really see it there. We're going to create a document and simulate as if we are doing changes, but we're not really doing any changes. We don't want to cause a chaos in our network devices and configurations. So I am going to execute nano touch to create this file. And remember, we have to use sudo in this case. And with ls, I can now see the file. Now I can just go back to the previous place. I was there I think I was in the, let me just change this to English. All right, pwd. All right, I am in my own directory, in the home directory. I'm going to run the command that we were trying to do before. Now that I created successfully, you saw I accessed the folder, I accessed the directory, I created the file with the touch command. And now what I'm doing is basically, I need to go and copy this one. Now, before I run it, I'm going to show you the path that I did. So basically I use cd, and then in this path, specifically in this path, I run the sudo touch, and then the name of the script that we want to create it. It was called if config ns33, something like this, right? So if if cfg -ens33. So I created the file, but let me see. It's only one file. We don't have any information on it. So with the cd and then this symbol, we are going to return to the directory, to the home directory, or you can do it like this: cd csrm server, the name of your server, and then home. I think it's pwd. It's actually backwards. It is home and then csrm server, home, then slash csrm server. Now that we are in the home directory, we are going to execute the command that we were trying to run from the beginning. I'm going to copy this. I don't know if it will have an effect because it really didn't exist at the beginning. So we will see. We will see about that. I'm going to copy and paste the information, this information. I'm going to copy and paste it there. Control O, Control X, and with the cat, I should be able to see it. Sudo cat. There you go. The information is there, successfully added. So right now I'm going to run this command to restart the network services and see if we still have remote access after this sudo system. Okay, I'm trying to restart the network services, but it really didn't do anything. So let me do some research with this to see if maybe the command changed or something changed. Some of the commands that they were in CentOS, they are from 10 years ago. So I need to pause the recording for a moment to fix this. Give me just a moment, please. So I did some research and investigated. It looks like the packet was already installed. We have installed the package previously successfully. In fact, if you need to install it, you have to run the sudo dnf install network manager. Now you have to run some commands. First, sudo systemctl enable network manager, then sudo systemctl start network manager, and then sudo systemctl status network manager, and you will see it is actually loaded and active and running successfully. We're going to dismiss just network and use network manager because we want to do it the easier way, as easy as possible. So I'm just going to copy this command and do some changes there. Remember, with Control A, you can go to the beginning, and I'm going to change it for network.manager. And for some reason, is still not working. Okay, we don't have to do that network manager. There you go. We are restarting the basically the service, the network manager service, and that is basically what we needed to do. That is a specific process related to network services. In fact, if you see, there is an ID. There is an ID for this process, which is the 933. Now let's run the status command again to see if the ID change. And in fact, now we have a different ID. Now we have 3509. That is the ID that we have now. If we need to quit with the letter Q, you can actually quit for that specific display. So if you are here and you type the letter Q, you are exiting, basically. Now let's continue with the commands, and we are going to edit and add some new information. We are going to modify the file that we have previously modified, and we're going to change something. With Control K, you can delete everything from here, and you can go there and copy the following. We're going to copy this information and paste it there. Control O, Control X. If you type a sudo cat, you will be able to see the information inside. There you go. Now we're going to do the following. We're removing any static IP addresses. And we're going to restart the network services once again. Let me just go ahead and do that. Remember, is sudo systemctl restart network manager. Network manager, or all together there, network manager. And then if you check the status with the status command, you will see it is running successfully now with a process ID of 3749. Remember the letter Q, and there you go. Now you are basically out. Now take a look at these logs. It is very important. You can see the policy, the state that the device is changing to. It is now active here, and you can see now it is connected. It is connected to the local host and successfully activated, and now it is connected to the global, to the connected global. And the startup is now complete. That is basically the history of the connection that we have completed at this moment. Let me see. Okay, now we're trying to do the release. Let's see if we are able to run this command successfully, because in the previous one, we have to install some packages. There it is. We might have to do it again. Sudo dnf install dh client. And we might need to wait for a moment so we can install those packages successfully. So remember, in order to install the packages, you have to run the command sudo dnf install dh client, sudo space dnf space install space dh client. Now we should be able to run that command from before. Amazing, we are able to run it successfully with no issues. We are going to renew the IP address. Let me just copy this here. I'm wondering if I was kicked out of the configuration. Let me go back to the virtual machine and try to run this command. So the last command is sudo dh client and then the IP address, the name of the network. Now, for some reason, I'm not able to. It is ifconfig. Let me run that command, sudo, and then run it. dhclient ENS33. After adding the password, look at that. We are basically validating that it is already running successfully, and with the previous command that we ran, it restarted the services successfully without we really didn't have to do much after that. So it worked. The command worked because we were kicked out from the terminal. Looks like we're back in the terminal. Now, ifconfig again. There you go. It's the same IP address. Nothing really changed. And this other command, I'm going to copy and paste it there in the terminal. Let me just go back. It's basically one that we have seen before. You can actually find another command. Let's run the same command, but device show to find more information regarding IP addresses and all that. And the other command that we have there, it was connection show. So let's just update it there to connection show. Look at that. Look at that. We have the Ethernet and we have the loopback, and we have the specific UUID for each of those. So this is very important and useful information that you can use to troubleshoot your networking problems in a day-to-day networking issue that you may have. These are useful commands. It's important that you practice them as much as you can. Let me see. Oh, okay, and at the end we have the ifconfig that we have already done. And we have to validate if we have the correct IP addresses, ifconfig. But we really didn't do any changes, because maybe in the old configurations the changes were like this, but it looks like the scripts and all that, they are not as they used to be. Let me try to find something there. I'm going to copy this path and check on something. I want to make sure about some information. Okay, network scripts. Yes, it looks like cd that. Yes, it looks like it really didn't do much of a change for everything that we were running. It was correct, but it really didn't change much, and we didn't have any trouble with the server at any moment. So it is nice. It is nice that we have been learning new commands and scripts and all that. cd net with tab. And if you execute the sudo cat and then this one, the DHCP configuration should still be there. There you go. There you go. IP add. And you see the information of the IP addresses. The only thing that I see a little bit different is that now we have another iNet there. So maybe there are like two networking adapters for that specific host in the Alma Linux server, and that is the reason, because we have two IPv4 addresses. Maybe when we created the machine or we configure it, at some point we added two network adapters, and that is the reason, because we have two IPv4 addresses there. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. Take care, guys. I hope that you keep learning as much as you can networking commands in Linux. At this moment, we changed the routine a little bit and we use another server, which is the Alma Linux. But remember, the commands are basically the same, because this Alma Linux is like a twin brother of the Rocky Linux operating system. So have an amazing week, have an amazing day, and remember, practice makes perfect. Goodbye.